live. Today is Friday, January 20, nope, not January 20 something. It's January 17th. And we're going to jump back into doing a Q&A. Thanks for joining us here. Thanks for joining us on Facebook. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in. Otherwise, I have kind of a list of questions from some stories I put on Instagram this week. People dropped in some questions. So I'm going to go through those. Hope you're all having a great Friday. I wish I could be at the NAMM show. I saw a bunch of people at the NAMM show, and I saw actually that I'm at the NAMM show at the Conselmer booth on a giant poster. So if you want to go check that out, tell Jason over at the Conselmer booth that I sent you there, and take a picture with Jason over there at the Conselmer booth and send it to me so that he knows that we're sending people over there. But yeah, wish I could be there, but I can't. But first things first, I announced this week some tour dates for our upcoming tour for the Cast of Characters album. I got a copy of it here. This is the new album, Cast of Characters, with Lucas Pino, Alex Wintz, Glenn Zaleski, Jimmy McBride, Dave Barron, and it's all original compositions as opposed to the last couple records, which have been a mix of covers and originals. And I'm going to be sharing that on the tour. The tour dates are just announced. We're going to hit a bunch of places: Austin, Denton, Fort Worth, Texas, Phoenix, Arizona, Los Angeles, Palm Springs, Denver, Reno, New York, Nashville, and Connecticut. So go to the website, check those out. But without any further ado, I'm going to kind of jump into the questions that we had from this week. Let's see, this seems like a good one. We'll start here with Gonzo Beans with 2 Z's if you want to look them up. What are your best tips for improv / any special tricks that you use when improving? I think he means improvising. No, there's no special tricks. I don't have any special tricks. The thing that I like to think about when I'm playing music is the music, thinking about, I'd like to pose myself the question, what does this music need right now? That's the question that I pose. What does the music need right now? And sometimes that means you need to rest or shut up or stop playing. Sometimes that means you need to play more, you need to trade, you need to do any kind of musical thing. But that's what I like to do, is pose that question. What does the music need now? And so that requires you to really have a strong hold over the tune itself, over the music, over your instrument, and just be able to freely go back and forth between thinking about those different things. So I encourage you to try to do the same. So that's my tip, my trick for improvising. If you guys have questions, feel free to drop them in either on Facebook or on Instagram. We'll get to those. Otherwise, I'm going to keep going through this list of questions that we had. Tips for bass trombone players. I see one of my students, Kyle, is here, and tips for bass trombone players, he's also a bass trombone player, that's why I brought him up, is that you should treat your jazz improvisations just the same way as a tenor trombonist would. You should transcribe, you should learn solos. It might just be an octave down. You might have to adapt and adjust to make it relevant for you, but it's the same thing all in all. You need to learn vocabulary, you need to learn phrasing, you need to learn style. It's just in a different register. So that's for bass trombonists. So just play jazz just like anybody else. There's a great bass trombonist who actually won our BAC UNT jazz trombone competition back in the fall, named Chris Glassman. And I'm pretty sure that him and his friend Alton put together a CD that's out, I think this week. I think I saw it on Instagram or Facebook this week. So feel free to check that out. But yeah, that's right, Kyle. 8 dB life, I see. So feel free to drop in a question, but I'm going to keep going here. A question from Russian Drummers. Russian Drummers asks, what genre of music do you like? Well, I think that might be relatively obvious, but jazz or any sort of improvisational music is kind of where I lean towards. It could be swing or not swing. Anything like that, but jazz in general would be the answer. What genre of music do you like? But I mean, I play lots of different genres, and you know, I like Brazilian music and salsa music and all different types of things. But my main thing that I compose, that I work in, is kind of the jazz area. Oh, here's a question from Aditya Jain. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. He says, tips for practicing changes on tunes like Moment's Notice. So learning hard chord changes, basically, or fast-moving chord changes. One, the first tip is to try to eliminate as many changes as you can so you can focus on the big picture, meaning if it's 2-5, 2-5, every bar, like Moment's Notice, try to eliminate half the changes by getting rid of the 2 chords and focusing on the 5 chords, because we're really focusing on that tonal motion, the tonal shifts between key centers. And to do that, you can just focus on 5 chords. So get rid of half of the changes, number one. Learn to play root melodies, which would just play the roots of the chords as they go by, right? And then go like root third, root third, root third, root third, root third, root third, root third. Say that 10 times fast. Root third, and then root seventh, and then we go root third, root seventh, root third. If Kyle's still here, he'll remember that from our jazz fundamentals class. But that's what I like to do. And then really improvise a bass line, and then try to improvise eighth notes. You can kind of go do this methodically. And then from there, you can jump on the piano and you can play voice leading. You can play roots, thirds, and sevenths in the right hand, roots in the left hand. That's a great way to practice any tune, let alone a tune like Moment's Notice with a lot of changes. And for me, Moment's Notice in particular was one that I have had to like learn and forget about 12 times before it finally stuck. But look for the key centers, see the big picture, use your knowledge of theory and all that to kind of inform how we deal with the tune. So thanks for that question. Let's keep moving here. Hope everybody's having a great Friday. I'm excited. I announced all that those tour dates this week. If you haven't checked it out, there's a new single on Spotify called The Guru. It's one of the singles from the album here. This is The Guru, this character here. Not sure if everyone knows yet what all the characters are, but sneak preview, over the next couple of weeks, we'll be releasing a few more singles from the album that use these characters. Let's see, let's go back to my list of questions here. Some of these aren't really questions, but this is a good question from Caleb Neary, sorry. He says, for you, what's the true success? And that is a great question, a deep question, and one that I'm not sure if I have the answer to, but only an answer for me. And for me, I've always said that success for me is being able to do what I want to do when I want to do it, basically, meaning that I'm able to facilitate my creative ideas, playing-wise, musically, and just life-wise, being able to do what I want when I want to do it. So that's why I have so many different tendrils out into different areas of music, doing things like teaching and playing and running a record label and trying to launch our booking agency and doing social media management and getting involved in that side of things. And just being involved in the industry as well as the playing part. So for me, it's being able to do what I want to do when I want to do it. And then musically speaking, success is being able to play with heroes, being able to play more and more with people that I've always looked up to. Sometimes it happens frequently, sometimes it's infrequently, but that's my goal. There's still a lot of people that I want to be able to play with. You know, 2 of them, I'll put it out in the universe, is Chick Corea, Herbie Hancock. Those are 2 people that I've wanted to play with for a long time. Hopefully someday that'll be able to happen. But for now, we keep on trucking with, trying to get better every day and just keep getting better at music. But that's my idea of success: playing with my heroes, getting better all the time, and being able to do what I want to do when I want to do it, essentially. So thanks, Caleb, for that question. We got a couple more questions. Where did they go, though? Whoops. I think it disappeared. Anyway, if you do have a question, feel free to drop them in here on Facebook or on Instagram. Let's see. Tips for bass trombonists. We did. Success. Oh, he says, I did lose it, though. Let's see. Here we go. Here is my list of questions again. No, actually, I think I missed some. But okay, who is your all-time favorite trombone player? That is a good question. All-time favorite? All-time favorite. If I had to just pick one, I suppose it's J.J. Johnson, if I have to pick one. a huge influence on me has also been Wycliffe Gordon. He was like the first guy that I really saw in person and was able to get a lot of interpersonal interaction with, and used to go down to his apartment in New York and have lessons and that kind of thing. So he was a big influence on me for sure. I think I did not include one page of questions here. So I'm just a little short on questions. So if you do have any, feel free to drop them in. But if I had to pick J.J. Johnson, Wycliffe Gordon is right up there as all-time favorites, trombonists. So we're talking in other genres or contemporary people, there might be a longer list, but I'll keep on moving. So here's another question. Said from WN Trombone is, how do you gain media influence amongst, I think that if I remember correctly, is that amongst other trombonists or other musicians? The short answer is try to be as best as you can and put out good stuff, or just put out stuff in general. I think it's a game of attention at this point, a game of putting things out. Hopefully every little thing that you put out maybe reaches one or two new people, and over a period of a long time, several years, you're going to start to slowly build up your influence and build up the amount of people that want to pay attention to what you're doing, just one at a time. There's a great article by Kevin Kelly called 1,000 True Fans. You can Google that if you want to check it out. And so it's been my mission for the last 10 years to try to build up like 1,000 true fans, people that are really interested in jazz and trombone and original compositions. And that manifests itself in a following on social media, posting on YouTube, posting on Instagram, making records, making videos, trying to do all of that stuff and just kind of keep my sanity, I guess, by doing all those things. So Candido is here and he asks the question, how do you keep concentrating when you have personal things going on? How do you stay in the moment? That's a very good question as well. Well, you know, I've been getting into the habit of just trying to set an amount of time aside so that I can concentrate, and I, turn on a timer and I just go away from my computer. I go and I close it. I put my phone away somewhere so that I'm not going to look at it. That helps me to stay in the moment for sure. It's a hard thing. I've tried to get into doing meditation for a long time, and that's never quite stuck with me for whatever reason, but I keep on trying. I am going to keep on trying. But I don't know. I think that trying something like that, a mindfulness practice could be really good. But for me, getting rid of distractions is the main way that I am able to stay in the moment. And in the music, it's the same thing as the first question that I answered today. When you're playing, when you're improvising, it's asking the question, what can you do for the music right now? What does the music need right now? What can I offer to the music right now? And not what do I want to do? Because often that's where we get to, is like, oh, I want to play this lick, I want to play this thing, I want to show everybody that I've shedded this and whatever, kind of all over everything. But sometimes that's not what the music needs. It needs a quiet moment. It needs to go into 2 instead of 4. So I think it's useful to ask yourself that question: what does the music need right now? And that goes for staying in the moment or anything else really. I wish I had a better answer to that, but that's what I try to do. Ask myself those questions. Think about the music. Get rid of distractions. Those are all the things. So thanks for joining today. If you missed, we did announce a bunch of tour dates for Cast of Characters this week. This is the Cast of Characters album. They're up for pre-sale on the website if that's something you're interested in. And most people don't have CD players, so I don't expect anyone to be interested in that necessarily. But the first single, The Guru, is out now, and the tour dates were announced yesterday. And so you want to check those out. We're coming to Arizona and California and Texas, New York. But if you have any other questions, kind of drop them in here on Instagram or Facebook. I think I ended up missing a whole page of questions from my original collection of questions, but I do try to leave it open during the week on my story on Instagram. So if you're wondering, where did you get these questions? They're from Instagram stories, and I usually say, ask me a question or whatever, and people tend to leave a few. But it looks like I missed one screenshot, so I don't have it here. And we're streaming, so I can't go away from my phone and pull them up. But yeah, it's been a busy week. I presented at the Jazz Congress Monday and Tuesday in New York, and then back to the first week of school here at UNT, and getting ready to roll along. Big tour and album release February and March, and then some exciting gigs with Anat Cohen in April and May, and yeah, and then going. This hasn't been announced yet. I get the first sneak preview. Going to ITF in Japan in July. So if you're going to be there, I'll see you then. And then the next month, August, end of July too, going back to Australia, this time to do my own stuff, my own music and teaching. So that's going to be very exciting summer. So the year is rolling along already. I know it's still the beginning of 2020, but things are cruising. So thanks everybody for the questions. If you have any other ones, feel free to drop them in over the next couple of minutes here, or else we'll just wrap up for this week. I'm going to try to jump on and do a Q&A session like this at least once a week or every other week, because I get a good amount throughout the week. So happy to do it. All right, killing. So I hope you have a great weekend. Thanks for being here, and I'll be back again in a week with some more cues being answered. All right, so thanks. Check out the new single, The Guru, up now on Spotify. See y'all later.